Good evening. This is the October 16th, 2025 meeting of the Planning and Zoning Commission. The time is 6 o'clock. We will be reconvening into the work session at this time. Okay, we will start the meeting tonight with a roll call. All members of the commission present tonight. Commissioners, as your name is called, please respond with a notification of presence. I am Sue Blankenship, Vice Chair of the Commission. Commissioner members Ed Maurer is not present. John Dobmeyer, please tell me I said it right.
Present.
Dobmeyer, I'm sorry. Cindy Bishop. Here. And Kent Halfman.
Haefman, here.
I hear them every week, but the first order of business is to begin work session as identified on item 2 of the agenda as we discuss each case. I will turn the work session over to Mary Barn Boswell. Mary, would you identify staff members present and then lead this discussion?
Sure, we have Matt Steer, Development Services Administrator, Cole Baker, a Graduate Engineer, our City Attorney Bob Hager, and Ms. Kayman McGee, our Board Secretary. The first item on your agenda this evening is an STR at 134 Turnberry. So if you recall, I believe most of you were probably here. This was approved in November of last year. So essentially what's happened is they've run it for about a year. They've now bought a new house. They've moved. They've turned it into a long-term rental. So all we're doing is repealing essentially the short-term rental portion of it and returning the PD back to the regular PD. So just removing the STR portion of it.
So I was curious about that, Mary, when I read this and going, is that really necessary? I guess maybe because it's
zoning. And so
if it's not being used, we generally revoke those.
and they don't live there.
They have to go here. They
Oh, I
have to
thought
go
it-
for us.
Yeah,
I thought it's because it was long-term rental and they didn't want their renters renting.
Well, there's that too.
There's that too. But there's a different product and a different permanent, and a lot of times when you grant those, you're doing it based on the representations that they're making and your comfort with them. And so if the ownership changes, we like to bring these back to you to look at it, or if their use package is gonna change, because otherwise it's permanent. And they could sell it to somebody else. And
It just runs with the land.
because it
Yeah.
runs with the land. It's not specific to the individual, so. And since they didn't want to use it for that reason, if someone else does want to use it, then they'll come before us and make their presentation, so you can put your eyes on them and your neighbors. And feel more comfortable with them. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and this one was just the one room in the front that they were doing.
It's that weird
Yeah.
house that has that.
It's got a little separate
Right.
ensuite
remember it.
kind of
Yeah,
thing.
right there in the front.
Yeah, a little different.
Yeah, it's kind of made for that kind
Really
of
needs
use.
it.
The next item on the agenda is a PD request for Carrollton Farmers Branch ISD. Essentially, they have property over at 1600 East Sandy Lake Road that they've owned since the 70s. Essentially, there's 2 existing kind of buildings on the property that are about 780 feet south of Sandy Lake. They're going to tear those down. They're going to build a new ag barn, which is about 90 feet off of Sandy Lake, as well as an open air arena. So the ag barn is going to be 14,400 square feet. The open air arena is about 13,350.
You said south of Sandy Lake?
Yeah, it's
Sorry,
north.
north. Sorry,
Okay,
I
okay.
apologize.
I was gonna
North
say
side.
the same thing. I was
North
like,
side.
Yeah.
just
North.
Canoe place.
Good catch.
Yeah, no.
Across the street from the canoe place.
Okay.
Yeah, across the street from the canoes.
Yeah.
So essentially, to build the new building, they're gonna do some regrading on the site, because the majority of it's in the floodplain. So they're gonna regrade part of the site, so where the barn's going is gonna be out of the floodplain.
Yeah, they are surrounded on 3 sides by water.
Yeah.
Pretty much. So it's
Almost an island.
Yeah, it's 42 acres. Like I said, they've been using it since they've owned it since the 70s. The buildings that are there since the 80s. They have about 6,000 students that go there every year. So they have little areas where they do their wilderness or agricultural type
Yeah, I
things.
see lots of odd farm equipment there.
Yeah. So, in terms of the ag barn, it's gonna be for the animals, and they'll have some outside fenced-in areas as little pasture areas where the animals can go.
Are they gonna keep stock in those barns?
I'm sorry?
Will they be keeping stock in those barns,
Yep.
horses, cows, whatever,
Mhm.
goats?
They have a rabbit area, an aviary, some area for cows, goats, sheep.
Yeah, because they already have animals there.
Right,
don't
it's
they?
existing, yeah,
Yeah.
so this
It's
will
just,
be.
it's just further back off the road, I think.
Yeah, they wander off down the back and you never see them.
A wash area, tack area, that type of thing. And then they'll have a flex lab space in there as well.
Is there some kind of power plant or something on the property? I see a tower too.
Is there a pump station just off-site?
Off-site.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Looks
Off
like
of the
it's,
river, there's a.
yeah, it looks like it
pump
joins the
station.
property, but
Yeah.
maybe it's not. Okay. Okay.
It's a different lot.
Yeah. Then in the open air arena, it's pretty much open air. I say open air, it's gonna have a roof on it though.
It's a covered.
Covered.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then there's 2 little storage areas on that open air arena. Because right now, every time they go there, they gotta carry their microscopes, their nets, their binoculars, and everything else that they need to do their little things. So this way they can just keep them there and don't have to haul them back and forth.
Could you describe little things?
Microscopes, nets.
Look and do it.
Okay. All right. So in terms of landscaping, like I said, 93% of the site's gonna be in its natural state. They are going to provide additional trees and landscaping and irrigation where the barn is and where the new parking lot area is. So on the western perimeter up to the parking lot, they're gonna plant a bunch of new trees. In the parking lot, they'll plant some trees. Up along Sandy Lake, they'll plant some trees and have that irrigated. Everything else is gonna be in its natural state. So that's when the PD condition says to approve landscaping as is, that's what it means. That just that one area is gonna be irrigated. Everything else is gonna be in its natural state.
Mary, are they gonna scrape the site for, to collect the dirt to build up their pad, or are they gonna import dirt, do you know?
I think that'll be through engineering, depending on what they need to do. Typically, they, I think have to balance the site.
Yeah, typically you would, grade the whole site,
Yeah, they're just gonna grade that front portion where they need to.
but they're gonna bring it, how far are they gonna raise that pad? Probably 3 feet at least,
I'm not sure what that number
to
is.
get it out of the floodplain? Wouldn't
Do
it
you
have to
know
be at
anything
the
I
about
same?
believe it's only a few feet. The floodplain depth is only like 2 feet across that lot. Like it's not, it is down lower than the road, but it's not terribly deep into the floodplain. So, and that raise a little bit.
So, if they get approved tonight, then Cole gets to do all his magic and tell them what they need to do. Plus, they're gonna have to get, one of the other conditions is that they have to get their CDC permit, their LOMR and their CLOMR before they can, build in that kind of
Right.
thing. So they still got a ways to go in terms of being able to develop the site, but this is kind of like the first step.
Sure. Well, I think it's a lovely idea, and more power to them.
Yeah. So down where the arena's gonna go, right now there's a bathroom that's out there that's gonna stay. I think there's like another, there's some learning stations that are gonna stay. see the
So
minutes.
are they on sewer or are they on
Septic.
septic?
Good question.
I don't know anything about that bathroom. They will be installing a private lift station for their new building up by the front, so they will connect to the city sewer, for the new building.
Mhm.
I
That's a
don't
fair
know anything about
question.
the existing bathroom.
We probably don't wanna know.
Yeah.
They may be
I
able to
think
better
Paul
answer
does.
that question.
It's existing.
So again, the building, it's gonna be a combination of concrete masonry units, CMU, split face CMU, and metal panel systems. They're gonna have a sign on the front of the building or the south side of the barn that'll have their logo and the sign that says Agricultural Science and Outdoor Learning Center. Standing seam metal roof. And then I just have some renderings that I'm gonna show you.
Yeah, it's a great idea.
So they've been looking to do this for a while now.
They were on the agenda two months ago, I think, and then they deferred.
Yeah, we had to work out some of the right-of-way stuff with Dallas County and us, so that's all squared away now and they're ready to move forward. So the last item on the agenda is the plat that goes along with this, essentially creating the legal lot and block
Right.
and the easements.
And merging
Fire
two
lane.
parcels or one? merging
It's
two
just
parcels?
one,
It was never played.
yeah, it's never been platted, but it's like
Oh, it's
one
not
tract,
platted.
I think,
Okay.
I think there's like two, or maybe two tracks. Anyway, it's never been platted, it's gonna create the legal lot and block, show the easements that are currently there, show any new easements, they're platting the fire lane.
Yeah, I see that you guys recommended it, so any issues from your perspective?
No, you know, we try to kind of work things out on the front end before we get to this, to this place here. And then, you know, with this particular project, it's really gonna, I think the time frame is really gonna be decided on with them trying to get all their CDC
Others,
and
yeah,
all those kind of permits,
sure, it'll be a while.
yeah.
It looks like the tree farm and retirement center are the only neighbors.
Yeah,
The tree farm is actually part of this building.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Carolyn have a park?
Oh,
So
okay.
they're gonna keep all those trees. They used to use that to replace trees in their district, but now
That's
that
why
all
they're all
those
kinda nice.
trees are just gonna stay.
so they
Okay.
use it for now, the kids go down and then as part of their environmental stuff, learn, okay, this is this kind of tree and this is this kind of tree,
Yeah, that's great.
yeah.
They have livestock there now?
I believe so, because it is an ag barn, or, you know, currently. It's just positioned differently.
Did you get any complaints or any issues from the surrounding neighbors?
I got one phone call yesterday, and I called them back and basically left them a message saying what is being proposed there, and I haven't heard anything back from them.
No
Oh.
other responses, huh?
I got a call from Jeff Farnell, the neighbor
Oh, did
across
you?
the street, and he said he was in favor of it, full
Cool.
support of it.
Okay,
But he didn't send anything in, so.
okay.
So there won't be any,
Sorry.
It's okay.
you don't think there'd be any smells come out of the barn?
I don't think so, like, that'll reach where the public, like, if you're not on their property, are you gonna smell it? Most likely not. My daughter was in FFA and they had the barn and, like, unless you're right up against it, like literally scooping it, you don't really smell it. And they're pretty good, because the kids have to go there every day. Like my daughter, she had to go in the morning, clean the pen, at night, feed and clean,
Yeah,
and then they
they
cart
take a lot
they
of
cart
upkeep.
it off,
Yeah,
and then they're gonna have an area where they cart it off and then it gets hauled out, so.
I almost bought that house across the street.
All right.
Yeah, that one right on Trading Court on the
If-
corner.
The problem may come if there was an intensity of use where it became more like a feedlot. That would be a problem, but I doubt that the school's gonna encourage that kind of behavior, so.
They'd have to amend the PD.
And it seems prevailing wind is probably out of the south towards the gun club anyway.
Pretty good for that. I'd be more worried about a straight bullet than killing a cow.
In terms of city council items, updates, so just this past Tuesday, we took the McDonald's and the AC Marriott to city council, and those were both approved on Tuesday. So we'll be going next month with the ordinance for those back to city council. Like I said, P&Z interviews were held, incumbents have been reappointed, and we do have a new member that's gonna replace the place vacated by Freddie.
How
So
many
they'll start in
applicants were there?
January.
Do you know?
So we had 9, which included the 4 incumbents.
Okay.
So we interviewed, I think just one person didn't show up.
Well, I didn't show up. If I was supposed to, I don't know if I was supposed to.
Only newbies.
I wasn't there.
Only the newbies, yeah.
Okay.
I was all ready to show up and then you canceled on me. I was excited. I was like, hey, I wanna go. I wanna get interviewed
One
again.
guy that's excited about an interview.
Well, you know, if you got some time, we could re-interview.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. That's it. So in terms of upcoming stuff, I won't know until next week if we have a meeting for next month.
But currently we
Yeah.
don't have anything.
I've got a couple that I'm meeting with on Monday.
So submittals come in
Monday.
starting Monday.
So with November, the third Thursday, I don't have a calendar in front of me, I apologize. But the third Thursday, that's not during Thanksgiving week, correct? Okay.
It is not.
It's the fourth, right?
That's the fourth Thursday.
Fourth Thursday.
Yes, so the 20th is the third Thursday, which is when the meeting would happen. And then the 27th, a week later, is
Okay,
Thanksgiving.
fair enough. I just,
And we have
What do you expect to,
United
for us?
December meeting.
I'm sorry, sir. What do you expect for us in December? Will we be meeting during December?
Yes,
On
if
the
we have
18th?
cases. If we have cases.
If we have cases?
Yeah, so in December, we don't do an intake, so we won't have a meeting in January.
Okay.
That is the only for sure.
Take it
I can
off the
tell you.
January calendar.
Well, some people will be gone too.
Yeah.
Because, you know, it falls right during Christmas and everything else, so we don't intake on December.
Some of them may be gone.
were there any
They
other
don't work, so they.
council action items?
Well, the council usually has one meeting, it would be the first meeting in the month. They don't have a second meeting generally in December.
They meet twice a month, the council?
Mhm.
So they meet second and fourth, so that fourth is usually during Christmas week, so they don't meet. And they usually only have one meeting in November as well, because of Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
Because it's usually the Tuesday before Thanksgiving.
yeah, well, so this time they're actually gonna have 3, right?
I don't know what it is. Well, they have special meetings.
I thought it was
'Cause they're gonna
certain-
miss the October meeting.
Right, and then they're gonna bump
Because
that.
everyone's gone to Tampa to see Mike be
Mhm.
installed as the president of the ICMA.
I see.
Yeah, and then they'll have the meeting on the 4th and the 11th, and then maybe the 3rd meeting, I don't know.
Okay, Mary, we're circling back, any other action items from council?
No.
Okay, we'll now adjourn the work session, the time is 6:19. We'll have a short break until regular session begins at 6:30. Got my mic, I'm sorry. All members of the commission are present with the exception of Chairman Hawes. Which brings us to item number,
And Mr. Mauer.
and Ed Mauer, I apologize, and Commissioner Mauer is also not present. Brings me to item number 4, citizens' appearance. Persons wishing to speak on any matter other than an item scheduled for a public hearing on the agenda must sign and register. Presentations by individuals shall be limited to 3 minutes each. In the event that there are more than 30 speakers registered for citizens' appearance, the chairperson may reduce each speaker's time to no less than 1 minute per speaker. Those persons who signed up to speak at the citizens' appearance shall be called upon in the order that they have signed the provided register. No personal attacks by any speaker shall be made against any member of the board, individual, group, or corporation. For public hearings, please sign the register if you wish to address the Planning and Zoning Commission on any one of the public hearings as listed on the agenda. You will be called to speak in the order you have registered. Public hearings are limited to 3 minutes per speaker and a maximum of 1 hour each for the proponents and opponents of the item. Okay, Cammie, did anyone sign up to speak? No? Mary, did you receive any written comments for citizens' appearance?
No, ma'am.
So are these speaker cards?
Yes.
Okay, so there are,
No one has signed up.
got it, those are just speaker cards, I apologize.
Either the public hearings or citizens.
Got it, okay. Since no comments were received, we'll close the citizens' appearance and move on to item number 5 on the agenda. Item 5 is approval of the September 18th, 2025 meeting minutes. Item 5 on the agenda is approval of our September 18th, 2025 Planning and Zoning Commission meeting minutes. Are there any questions or discussions by the commission? Is there a motion by the commission?
I'll make a motion to approve the September 18th, 2025 Planning and Zoning meeting minutes.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, motion by Commissioner Bishop.
Yep.
Don't get this one wrong. Second by Commissioner Dobman. Did I do it? Cammie, would you please call the roll?
Please respond by saying aye or nay as I call your name. Commissioner Donmeyer.
Here, aye.
Vice Chair Blankenship. Commissioner Hafman.
Aye.
And Commissioner Bishop.
Aye.
All approved, none opposed, motion carries.
Okay, item 6 is to consider approval of PD 134R5-SF7, 134 Turnberry Lane, STR, a zoning change request from PD 134R4-SF7, Plan Development 134 Revision 4 Single Family 7, to PD 134R5-SF7, which is a Plan Development 134 Revision 5 Single Family 7, to remove the short-term rental for one room on 0.17 acres of property located at 134 Turnberry Lane at the request of Adita, I'm going to mess up your name and I apologize, Carell. No? Yeah? The property owner. Mary, would you please present the case?
Good evening, Vice Chair and members. So on May 30th, 2023, the Coppell City Council approved an ordinance amending the Code of Ordinance, Chapter 12, Article 30, to provide an SUP if you wanted to do an STR. STR stands for short-term rentals, so they're typically required to have a special use permit in addition to registering with the city in order to provide in order to legally operate within the city of Coppell. Because this property is part of a planned development, a revision to the PD was done to allow for the STR, so achieving the same thing. So with this particular piece of property, there's a guest room that's separated from the rest of the house, and that's where the STR was being done. So the applicant has owned the home since 2021, In November of 2024, the council approved an STR for this address, allowing for the rental of one of the 5 bedrooms. So this just basically gives you a little timeline of what happened to the property. So the applicant has recently moved and has converted the home to a long-term rental. So they are asking that the zoning allowing the STR be removed from the property. So because it is a zoning change request, we did mail out notices within 200 feet as required by state law, and additional courtesy notices within 800 feet. I did receive one call basically asking what was going on and just wanting more information. So staff is recommending approval of the request, with the property being subject to the original PD conditions for the subdivision. So essentially removing the STR use from the property. That is the end of my presentation, and if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. The applicant is here as well.
Thank you, Mary. Are there any questions or discussions by the commission? Is the applicant here to present? Please make sure you state your name and address for the record.
Sure.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Aditi Corral, and the property address is 134 Turnberry Lane, Coppell, Texas. The zip code is 75019.
So did you have a presentation or?
No presentation. I just want to request to get this removed. I've already moved out from the property, and this property has been listed for long-term rental at this time. So the only request is to get the short-term rental removed from the property.
Okay. This is a public hearing. Is there anybody here who would like to speak for or against the proposed applications? Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. Are there any questions or discussions by the commission? Is there a motion or commission? Is there a motion by the commission?
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the approval of PD 134R5 SF7 134 Turnberry Lane STR, a zoning change request from PD 134R4 SF-7 to a PD 134R5 SF7 with staff conditions and recommendations.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's a motion by Hafman, Commissioner Hafman, and a second by Commissioner Bishop. Ms. McGee, would you please call the roll?
Please respond by saying aye or nay as I call your name. Commissioner Dottmeyer,
Aye.
Vice Chair Blankenship,
Aye.
Commissioner Hafman,
Aye.
and Commissioner Bishop.
Aye.
All approved, none opposed, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item number 7 is a public hearing to consider approval of PD 322-A, Carrollton's Farmer Branch ISD Ag Barn, a zoning change request from agricultural to PD 322A of planned development, 322 agricultural, to allow the construction of a new 14,000 square foot educational building, a 13,350 square foot arena, and educational stations on approximately 42 acres located along the north side of Sandy Lake Road, abutting the Elm Fork River to the east at the city limits, at the request of Ben Sanchez of Park Hill, representing Carrollton Farmers Branch ISD. Mary, would you please present the case?
So Carrollton Farmers Branch has essentially owned this piece of property back since the 1970s. It currently operates as their agricultural science project center and outdoor learning center. According to their website, approximately 6,000 students a year experience nature, as every 2nd, 4th, and 6th grade student spends at least one day performing science experiments in an exciting outdoor setting. So the site also serves as the Ag Barn for students in the animal science, wildlife management, environmentalism, and FFA, allowing them hands-on experience. The approximate 42 acres has been used by the school district since the mid-1970s. They will be platting the property and are proposing to construct a new ag barn, outdoor arena, learning stations, cattle bay shade structure, parking lot, and dock area. So with the majority of the site is currently, sits in the floodplain. With this new development, so you can see on the left is the existing, and then on the right is going to be the proposed elevations. So with the new development, there are plans to regrade a portion of the site and bring imported fill material to elevate the building pad for the barn and bring it out of the 100-year floodplain. A plan development condition will require that a conditional letter of map revision or CLOMR and a corridor development certificate or CDC permit is required prior to the start of construction. And the letter of map revision or LOMR will be required prior to the issuance of a certificate of occupancy. Another PD condition for the development of the site relates to CF, Carrollton Farmers Branch ISD, acquiring a maintenance agreement for the district to maintain the sanitary sewer force main within the city right-of-way before construction can begin. So what we're looking at in the middle there is, after the regrading, the pink shows what's going to be out of the floodplain. So the building will be out of the floodplain. So the site currently has 2 buildings on it, which are located about 750 feet north of Sandy Lake Road. These buildings were constructed in the early 80s. The proposal is to demolish those 2 buildings that currently sit in the floodplain and construct a new 14,000 square foot educational barn building approximately 90 feet north of Sandy Lake Road, which will be out of the floodplain. This will house the animals and items necessary to look after them, as well as bathroom facilities and flex lab space. Directly behind the proposed barn, a paved parking lot with 66 parking spaces is proposed to be constructed. There is a PD condition to allow a portion of the parking lot below the base flood elevation. There are parking spaces directly in front of the building that will be out of the floodplain. So in addition to providing an indoor space for the animals housed there, the barn will also provide outdoor fenced-in areas for the animals to use, so a little pasture area. The site will have a gated access, so you can't get into the site unless you have permission, key card type of thing. A variety of fencing is proposed on site based on the functionality and location. For example, pipe rail fencing, animal fencing, hog panel fencing, etc. So there is a PD condition to allow the fencing as shown on the plans. One other condition is for any trailers to be stored behind the barn or within the building. So in addition to the ag barn, they're proposing a new 13,350 square foot covered arena. The arena will allow students to show and train the animals, among other things. There are 2 small storage areas incorporated in the arena for the district to store equipment. So those are those 2 yellow squares attached to the building there. On the north, excuse me, and southern corners on the western side. So essentially they'll store equipment like microscopes, nets, binoculars, items that are used for the nearby outdoor learning areas. Excuse me. So currently they have to cart this equipment back and forth each time they visit. This will allow them to store it and not have to bring it back and forth. There's an existing restroom just north of the proposed arena, which will remain, as well as an existing pavilion further north. Other improvements include adding a dock by the pond, which will allow students to access the pond without getting into the mud. The existing learning stations will be upgraded along with a concrete trail system around the property, allowing for better access and upkeep. So the vast majority, roughly 93% of the site, will remain in its natural state. There is a tree line around the entire site, and no existing trees are planned to be removed. So as you can see on this aerial. There are plans to add existing landscaping to the site, particularly to the front of the site, where the new construction will occur. There will be trees added along 780 feet of the western perimeter, from the entrance at Sandy Lake to the edge of the arena, enhancing the existing tree line. Additional trees will be planted along Sandy Lake Road and in the parking lot areas. The new landscaping will be irrigated. There are no plans to irrigate the remainder of the 42 acres. The existing trees at the rear center portion of the lot are proposed to remain, in addition to the several tree stands along the eastern portion of the site. So there is a PD condition to approve the landscaping as shown. When we get to the elevations, so the barn is a combination of concrete masonry units, or CMU, split-face CMU, and metal panel systems. The southern facade, which faces Sandy Lake, is proposed to be a combination of split-face CMU, the lower portion up to the window ledge, and then CMU for the remainder. They are proposing a sign on this side of the building that falls within the allowable sign size. The sign will consist of channel-cut anodized aluminum lettering, 16 inches in height. Excuse me. The sign has the Carrollton Farmers Branch logo and the name of the building, Agricultural Science and Outdoor Learning Center. The other elevations will be a combination of CMU, split-face CMU, with the majority being a metal panel system. There will be a standing seam metal roof with matching gutters, metal gutters. The north, east, and western elevations will also have overhead doors, allowing for easy access to the barn and to the attached fenced-in animal pasture areas. The northern elevation will also have a portion of it dedicated to an aviary with black vinyl coated chain link fence as part of the aviary enclosure. Here we're looking at the open air arena. The arena is essentially an open air structure with standing seam metal roof. There is a main space in the middle with smaller covered corridor areas on two sides. At the western side of the smaller corridor are two proposed storage rooms, which we talked about earlier, proposed to be constructed of CMU. Again, this storage area will be used by the district to store equipment such as microscope, nets, binoculars for the outdoor learning areas. And then here we just have some renderings of the proposed buildings. So the top one is the ag barn. View from the southwest corner looking north, and then view from the northeast corner looking south. Then here on the top one is the open air arena, where the bottom is the barn. And this is just basically a material board showing the colors that they're using and the brick colors that they're looking at using as well. And we've got some renderings of the buildings here. And then this is just kind of an aerial kind of view of what it's going to look like when it's all done. This is just in case you were interested on knowing what's inside the ag barn. Here's kind of their floor plan. So they got flex space, a bathroom, then areas for their rabbits and all the rest of the animals, tack storage, a washing area, drying area. Let me tell you, drying a cow takes a while. If you ever had to wash and dry a cow, it's a few hours work. So again, this is a zoning change request. We did send out letters within 200 feet as required by state law, additional letters within 800 feet as a courtesy notice. I did receive one phone call essentially asking what was going on. I believe one of my colleagues, Mr. Steer, received another phone call, same thing, and they were, neither one said that they were opposed to what was going on, just asking what was happening. So staff is recommending approval of the PD request subject to the following conditions. One, that additional comments may be generated upon detailed engineering permit reviews. Two, to approve the landscape as shown. Three, that a maintenance agreement is required for the Carrollton Farmers Branch District to maintain the sanitary sewer force main within the city right-of-way before construction begins. 4, that a CLOMR and CDC permit are required prior to the start of construction in the floodplain, and a LOMR is required prior to the issuance of a certificate of occupancy. Number 5, to allow the portion of the parking lot below the base flood elevation. 6, to allow the fencing as shown. And 7, that trailers must be stored or screened behind the ag barn or within the building. That is the end of my presentation, and I believe we have someone representing CFB ISD here as well.
Thank you, Mary. Are there any questions or discussion by the commission?
I actually have a question for staff. Is there any accommodations or any considerations made for any potential accumulation or runoff of animal waste into either the Elm Fork or the Denton Creek?
So their animal waste is actually going to be gathered. They'll have like a bin where it goes to, and it'll be hauled off.
Thank you.
Any other questions or discussions? Is the applicant here to present the case? Please state your name and address for the record, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Ben Sanchez with Park Hill, 3000 Internet Boulevard, Suite 550 in Frisco, Texas. No presentation, really, just here to answer any questions from the commission. I think Mary's done a great job describing the project, so no presentation, but I can answer any questions you may have.
Okay, I have the first question then.
Yeah.
Are you in agreement with the staff's additional comments?
Yes, we are in agreement.
Okay, great. This is any other questions or comments any questions by commissioners? No? This is a public hearing. Is there anybody here who would like to speak for or against the proposed application? Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. Are there any questions or discussions by the commission? Is there a motion by the commission?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I will move to approve this application. Consider approval of the PD 322A, Carrollton Farmers Branch, ISD Ag Barn, a zoning change request from agricultural PD 322A, Plan Development, 322 Agricultural, to allow the construction of a new 14,000 square foot educational building and a 13,350 square foot arena and education stations on approximately 42 acres, subject to staff conditions.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Hafman and second by Commissioner Bishop. I'm so sorry. Ms. McGee, would you please call the roll? This is going to be recurring.
Please respond by saying aye or nay as I call your name. Commissioner Dobbmeyer.
Aye.
Vice Chair Blankenship.
Aye.
Commissioner Hafman.
Aye.
Commissioner Bishop.
Aye.
All approved, none opposed, motion carries.
Okay, this is item number 8, to consider approval of the Carrollton Farmers Branch ISD Ag Barn Addition Lot 1, Block A, minor plat, to plat the property into one lot for the construction of a new barn, educational building, arena, and educational stations on approximately 42 acres located along the north side of Sandy Lake Road, abutting the Elm Fork Trinity River to the east of the city limits, at the request of Ben Sanchez of Park Hill, representing Carrollton Farmers Branch ISD. Mary, would you please present the case?
So this plat request is a companion item to the PD that we just listened to and voted on. The plat is extending the fire lane easement to accommodate the new construction and the median opening. Staff is in support of the plat and recommends approval. So staff is recommending approval of the minor plat subject to the following conditions: that there may be additional comments during detailed engineering review. That's it.
Okay, just checking.
Sorry.
Thank you, Mary. Are there any questions or discussions by the commission? Is the applicant here to present the case?
Ben Sanchez again, Park Hill, 3000 Internet Boulevard, Suite 550, Frisco, Texas. No presentation. Just one comment. We have, there wasn't a right-of-way abandonment as part of this plat that City Council approved, so we've already recorded that at the county clerk's office, and we've given that to Cole as well. So that'll be shown on the final plat as well.
Are there any questions or discussion by the commission?
Ben, how long do you think it's going to take to put all this together and start construction? Any idea?
I've got the schedule right here. Let me pull it up. Give me a second, please.
I mean, this is an exciting improvement, and I think it's a great idea.
Yes, sir, for sure. Looks like we're going to, after we get through P&Z and then, of course, through council, we're going to be going into our construction drawings at 75%. And construction actually looks like we're going to start maybe around May next year. It's going to take a little bit because the loamer that's going to be part of this PD, that's a long process with FEMA. Mm-hmm. And so we're going to start that process early on to, by the time the building gets constructed, we can actually move into the building.
Well, good luck with all that.
Thank you very much.
I think it'll be a great project.
Yeah, it's a great project. Thank you.
Any additional questions or comments by the commission? Is there a motion by the commission?
I'll move to approve the Farmers Branch ISD Ag Barn Addition Lot 1 Block A minor plat to plat the property into one lot for the construction of a new barn, educational building, arena, and educational stations on approximately 42 acres, subject to staff conditions.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Haferman.
Perfect.
Thank you. Second by Commissioner Dobmeyer. All right. Sorry, y'all. Ms. McKee, please call the roll.
Please respond by saying aye or nay as I call your name. Commissioner Dobmeyer.
Aye.
Vice Chair Blankenship.
Aye.
Commissioner Haveman.
Aye.
And Commissioner Bishop.
Aye.
All approved, none opposed, motion carries.
Okay, this leads us to item 9, an update on the council items, and the commission was updated on city council items during the work session. And unless we have anything else, item number 10 is adjournment. There being no further business before the Planning and Zoning Commission, I adjourn the meeting. The time is 6:58.